This is where Texas politics gets interesting. Here again are two guys named Jason, some great guests, and cold Texas beer for another smart conversation on Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas.
Hello again, everybody, from Oak Highlands Brewery in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're technically in Garland.
Is this technically Garland?
Isn't this Garland, Mike?
East Dallas?
Is this Garland or Dallas? Okay,
East Dallas.
It's very close to Garland.
Far East Dallas.
And also from Amsterdam this episode today.
Yes.
It's going to be an interesting ride. First off, what are you having, Whiteley?
I had to look back at it. I'm having number 7, the Golden Dharma. It is an international.
Okay, that
I
makes
thought about
sense. Okay.
Light lager. So
I gave no thought whatsoever to my selection, which is
apropos for you,
keeping with
absolutely.
the tradition. I'm having. I thought it was a Gose, a G-O-S-E, but we've looked it up, and apparently it's a Gosa. Gosa. And this is a sour beer.
Which matches your personality.
It does.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
I did do a little thinking, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's called What Limes with Cucumber. And they told me this is the only sour we have on the menu. And I took one sip, and boy, the pucker.
It felt like right at home, right?
Totally.
It felt like you were right at home.
Drinking me.
So we have the 2.0 episode from a previous one we did.
I'm very excited about this.
With Jana Sanchez. So we went to her house in Fort Worth a few months ago.
It was one of the more memorable episodes, and we've gotten comments about it, and people really thought it was.
I think that's called hate mail.
No, it wasn't hate.
Not at all.
I got all the hate mail, right?
Hold on, Jana.
you
hold
got
on.
the hate
You
mail.
got the hate mail. So she's on the line here with us. But before we get to her, let me just back this up. So you always hear about people saying, "Oh, you know what? If so and so wins, I'm going to leave the country. This is outrageous.
I'm out of here." Yeah.
Well, she said, "You know what? I'm gone."
And she meant it.
She actually did it.
And there were a few expletives in there too, I think.
Were there a couple in there?
I think there were.
But she treated us to a beer at her dining room table, and we
In
sat
the house
there.
that she put up for sale.
And she was selling everything in her house. And that's what that episode was about. So I got a text from her the other day in Amsterdam. She moved to Amsterdam. And she said, hey, not only am I doing great here in Amsterdam, but I'm also, teaching other Americans how they can do what I did.
Wait, Jana, what is the name of this business?
It's called GTFO Tours,
What does that
GTFO
mean?
Relocation Tours. Get the F out.
Wow, your language has gotten cleaner since you've moved over to Europe.
Jana,
I don't think I'm allowed to say what the F stands for, but I think everybody gets it.
it's a podcast. It's okay.
Oh,
Listen,
it is? Okay. All right.
You're in
Well,
Amsterdam. If you don't have a better beer than us right now, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, I'm drinking water right now, but I just got back from the Thai restaurant where I had a Bavaria beer on tap.
A
which
German
despite
beer
its
on
name,
tap.
It's not a German beer. It's actually a Dutch beer called Bavaria. I think because it's made in the Bavarian Pils style.
Well, it looks like you're at the top of a church tower right now. It's a gorgeous background. Where are you right
This
now?
is my attic office.
Wow, nice.
It was a guest room, and we've repurposed it to make it my office. And it's lovely working up here. It looks onto a roof terrace, and my dogs come up here and sit around me while I'm working and go out onto the
Wow.
roof terrace and lay
I have to
themselves.
look at Wheeler all the time, so it must be a much better view than
All
we
right,
have.
so rub it in for us here, Jana. How good is life there in Europe? I love going over to Europe, and every time I go there, I'm like, man, I could live like this. What's it been like?
Well, it's been amazing, actually, really, really amazing. I'm still stressed about everything that's going on in America, of course.
Oh, so that didn't subside.
That did not subside, but I'm not in it every day. I'm like you said, helping Americans get out. Oh, and I just want to correct one thing. I'm actually in Haarlem, which is a town outside of Amsterdam, about 10 minutes away. That is where Harlem, New York was named after.
But
did
your
not know
Harlem
that.
has 2 A's, though, right? Is that right?
It has 2 A's,
Look at that,
Haarlem.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Like to buy a vowel?
Pretty good.
Huh?
No,
Yeah.
I never understand why people buy the vowel on that show, and that's
you have
another
to purchase
discussion.
them. You don't just get them.
I don't
But
spend money like that. But so you started this business and trying to help other Americans who want to get out. And I'm curious why you started that. Did you start that because you're like, you know what, I'm going to help other people do this, or did you have people reaching out going, please help me do this?
Well, it happened organically. you probably haven't seen, but I turned my old congressional campaign page into a page about how to leave the country. So I have all kinds of resources there, including, all of the different countries where you can get a passive income visa, meaning a retiree visa, all the countries where you can get a second passport because of your ancestry, all the countries where you can be a digital nomad. So between all of those countries, it's about, I think about 100 different options for Americans who want to leave.
Wait, so
And
what's the website if somebody's listening to this and they go, why didn't either one of those guys ask her what the website is? I
It's
need to know the
actually
website.
just my Facebook, my public Facebook page, not my private Facebook page, which I get a lot of friend requests and I don't accept them because I get so much hate text, and I get lots of MAGAs sending me really disgusting text. So I don't take any friends on my personal page, but anybody can join my public page.
And what's the name on that?
It's Jana Lynn Sanchez resource page, and I think the address is actually just facebook.com /the Jana Sanchez. That's what all my campaign stuff was, the Jana Sanchez.
Let's talk about the not nice stuff you've been getting too, though.
Well, after the podcast, I got so much hate mail from people who wanted to kill me, apparently, and people
After
who,
Yolitics? After you were on Yolitics?
yeah, well, I think when it ran on TV, I think that's when all the
Wait, they wanted to kill you because you wanted to leave.
Yeah, so yeah, it was very strange. They were really angry at me for leaving. They also like to call me the C word. I've heard that about 1,000 times this year.
Wow.
And I get a lot of really inappropriate sexual violence stuff from maggots.
Jeez.
So I get a lot because I also, in addition to posting resources on how to get out, I also post my opinions about what's going on in the world of politics. So I do get a lot of hate. I mean, one time I had to block like 4,000 people after a post. Yeah. And it was like they
Jeez.
didn't even understand the post. If they'd understood it,
4,000?
yeah, 4,000
Well,
people I had to block.
we have a million questions here, but let's go back to the one Wheeler asked just a moment ago. What is life like in the month or two you've been over there?
It's been amazing. So, I walk everywhere. I'm able to do my shopping just around the corner and on the market on Saturday. I walk my dogs 4 times a day because I don't have a backyard. So that's wonderful. I have parks right by. It's very peaceful and calm, and it's a lot cooler than in Texas. It's not cold, but it's cool. And I'm just really, really enjoying life back here. I think I lived here for many years.
Sure.
25 years ago.
But you're able to do work. You said some clients were staying with you. Are you able to earn an income there?
Yes, I am. I'm doing the same work I was doing in Texas, which is communication coaching, but I've also added this GTFO Tours business on top of that, which is when Americans are interested in coming to the Netherlands, we created a tour along with my business partner, Bethany Quinn, who is a relocation coach. She coaches people to help them figure out where they can go, under what visa, under what passport, how they can get out. And so we created this tour, which is a 7-day intensive tour where you learn everything you need to learn about how to come to the Netherlands and live here. The Netherlands is one of the easiest places in the world for Americans to migrate to. But you've got to know some things, like you've got to know how hard it is to get housing because there's a housing crisis. You've got to understand the requirements for, it's called the DAFT, Dutch American Friendship Treaty visa. So it's super easy. You just turn up with your passport. You just come in on a tourist visa, and then you contact the Immigration Naturalization Service and say, I would like to get the DAFT visa. You fill out forms. You put 4,500 euros in a bank account, in a business bank account, and you do all the other stuff you're required to do, which quite frankly isn't that much. And then you've got to make a living with your business, which can be a remote business like mine, which is all online, or you can sell, anything to Dutch people that you want, that if they're interested in buying it. One guy who's doing a call with us on Sunday, I do calls almost every Sunday about specific topics, and this Sunday is about DAFT. This guy was a bus driver in somewhere in the Midwest, and he came here. He bought a van, and he sets up tours to take people in his van to different places around the Netherlands. And he does like airport pickups and those sort of thing. And he's doing very well. So that's an example of a kind of business that you can start under Daft.
And Jana, what else is on the tour though? What am I actually going to see if I sign up and do the 7-day tour with you guys?
And if Whiteley
So
did
it's-
this, by the way, he would need to be, obviously he's serious about it because he's not just coming there to see the sights. Like he wants you to
No,
show
it's-
him
right,
how to do
right.
this.
Okay, so it's very focused on the things you really need to know. So every day we start off with a seminar. The seminar one day is on visas, the visa process. The next day it's on housing, how to find housing. It's a big problem. The next day it's about how to set up your business administration for your company so you don't get into trouble. The next day it's about how to find schools for your children. The next day it's about how to file your U.S. taxes. And another day, it's about what the Dutch call inburgering, which is roughly equivalent of integration, how you integrate into Dutch society. And then, so we do a seminar a day. Because the biggest issue for most people coming here is how to find housing. Every single day, we do lunch with a makelaar, which is a Dutch realtor, a realtor who finds you a house. Helps you find a house to rent or an apartment to rent. And we go to 5 different cities where most expats live. That's Amsterdam, of course, Utrecht, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Haarlem, where I live. And those are probably where most expats live, although it's easier to find housing in other areas as well. And then we also do a deep cultural dive. So we do walking tours in most of the towns, boating tours, biking tours. We go to the Dutch seaside and enjoy the fried fish and enjoy the Dutch beach culture because it's really different than in other places.
So you got some fun sprinkled in there too.
No
sounds like.
rollerblading. Did you notice that? She says no rollerblading.
rollerblading.
I guess I'd have to give it up if I did this.
But you're gonna have to bike.
I like to cycle too. Yeah. So let's talk about some of these expats that you've been running into. Obviously, you're doing your part to help new ones get established there.
Yes.
But are you running into other people, Jana, who did the same thing you did, who just decided, I can't take it, I'm getting out?
Every day. Well, keep in mind that I hear from people who want to go all kinds of places: Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal. Those are 2 really big ones. Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama. Some people go to other places, Ireland. Germany is a big one because it's one of the other places in Europe. There are only 2 places really that you can work in the market. You can just turn up and get a visa to work in the market, and there are a lot of conditions on that. But Germany is the other one. So a lot of people are interested in going to Germany and to all of those other places. And roughly speaking, about half of those people are retirees because their money goes further in most places in Europe, certainly Spain and Portugal, well, Italy and France as well. But then the other half are looking at all kinds of different ways to get out. Maybe it's including like studying, including setting up a business in the Netherlands, working in Germany, or setting up a business in Germany. Most places, the average American can't just move there and get a job because they're not allowed to be employed. And the labor market is such that most countries really don't want you to come and work. It's because of this special treaty between the Netherlands and the US that people can come here and start a business, because Dutch people can also go to the US and start a business.
So your company is GTFO Tours. Your latest company is GTFO Tours. Tell us how this started. You met Bethany, who's from Washington, D.C., who wasn't able to join us on this episode here. But were you guys sitting around one day talking, sitting out by a canal, I presume, maybe, having a cup of coffee or a pint?
Actually, I had this idea before I left because I was getting so many people contacting me saying, how do I get out? How do I get out? And coincidentally, at the same time, I learned about the Daft visa, which I never knew about. I didn't know that the Netherlands was one of the easiest places to go to. And I said to a friend of mine who's planning to move to Portugal, I said, I really feel like I need like hands-on, hand-holding, helping Americans figure this out because they really don't know a lot. Like most Americans, unless they've lived abroad, really don't understand. You can't just send out 1,000 resumes and hope somebody's going to hire you. It doesn't work that way. So I said, I want to do these tours. I want to do tours of the Netherlands to help people figure it out. And my friend who's moving to Portugal said, "Oh, there are tours everywhere. Those kind of tours exist, but not in the Netherlands," because he was looking all over it, all different countries. And I said, "Okay, well, that sounds a good idea." And I met Bethany, and she's very active in helping people get out. She coaches people on a one-on-one basis, but she's very active. And there's a community on Facebook of people who are using the DAFT visa to move to Holland. It's called DAFT Hub, DAFTHUB. And I saw her comments on there. She reached out to me after she saw me posting about the DAFT visa and saw
Jana.
my Sunday calls.
Jana, could you tell us, after a couple of months of this now, what has been the best part about decamping from the U.S., getting away from the daily, fire hose of information, politics-wise here? What's been the best part of it, and what's been the hardest part? If you had to, be totally honest, what do you miss?
Well, I guess I miss my some people in my family, not all of them, but miss some of my family. I really miss my sister, but not. And it's been really stressful trying to sell my house from abroad. I haven't sold it yet, which has been very stressful. The time difference is a bit of a stress because I'm a morning person and I'm having to work usually quite late because my clients are just getting up when I would normally be turning off my computer. So my schedule is a lot harder for me because my dogs still wake me up at 7 a.m. But it's really been
So is
great.
7 a.m. Fort Worth time or 7 a.m.
No,
Harlem time?
unfortunately, 7 a.m. Dutch time. So I'm up walking them at 7, and then sometimes I'm working till 9. So it's a long
Wow.
day. But it's been almost universally positive. It's just a sense of peace. And, I had road rage incidents where people, tried to run me off the road in Fort Worth. I had a bumper sticker. What did my bumper sticker say? Oh, it said, I love being woke. It's better than being ignorant. And so I got a lot of hate because of that. And of course I have
could see
Kamala
that.
Harris. So I don't get any hate for that. And people are really angry at America now and Americans. But mostly they know that the people here are not the same people who voted for Trump.
I was going to ask you what is the talk like there when people talk about Americans, and they assume
Everybody
that
is
when you're
just
there that you're
horrified.
not one of them. But
Well,
what's it like?
they know that if you're educated and you left the country, you're not somebody who would have voted for Trump. And they just sort of assume that you're not a Trump supporter. And I think you hear just every single day, people are just absolutely horrified by, whatever news came out, whether it's attacking Zelensky in the White House or JD Vance going to Greenland, or Trump going on and on about Canada and Greenland, or the tariffs, of course, are the big news today. Every time I walked outside and saw a neighbor, they go, "Oh my God, the market, what is he doing?" I'm like, no idea. I guess what Putin tells him to do. I don't know. So it's really, it's people are understand that we want to get out and that we don't approve of what Trump is doing. And I always point out to people it was not a majority of Americans who voted for him.
Have you met any Trump supporters though?
No.
Who like the things that he's been doing?
No, not one. Or if they are, they didn't tell me. I mean, even like when you're sitting next to someone at a restaurant, you strike up a conversation, nobody likes Trump, and everybody is really scared about what he's doing and annoyed and angry.
Americans might not realize it, but what happens in America really leads the news on a lot of European television stations.
Yes, it does.
But there's probably less of a fire hose of information than you experienced when you were in Fort Worth as well.
I wouldn't say so. I think.
Tell us what it's like. Yeah.
I mean, people. So every time you turn on the news, I mean, they have their own political issues in each country, of course, that they're following closely. There's a big debate yesterday that my husband watched in the Dutch Parliament. But they all know what's going on. They're all very aware of what's going on. The TV programs, do lots of programs about the latest crazy thing that Trump did. And People are very worried and concerned about what's happening,
Have
and
you
they're
turned it off
angry.
though?
Well, I turn it off. I'm basically boycotting mainstream media for the most part. I only listen to podcasts. So, because I really want to control, I can't handle the sanitation or I think that's not the right word, but
The
the way
cleansing?
that it's being treated as if this is normal, and with no context about history and how like this is exactly what Hitler did. It's exactly, this is a repeating of history, and the mainstream media, for the most part, present company excluded, doesn't put the context of why this is also bad. And I can't watch media because I get really frustrated with the way that things are presented.
And following up that question, just so I'm clear, for your Dutch friends who are there, the people you interact with, do they talk about what's going on in the United
Yes,
States? Do they really?
yes. Every single day, the first text I get is from one of my best friends who's British, who is just every single day like, oh my God, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Are Americans stupid? It usually ends up having an entire conversation in which the end result is Americans must be stupid. And it's so horrible. And why are they doing this? And I'm just like, I can't really argue with you, like I can't defend this.
Um,
So I think, yeah, that's basically every single day, multiple times with multiple people.
Jana, there are people here in the U.S. still, Democrats, possibly some independents as well. And I don't know if you've heard from any people like this who would say, and I think we talked about this before, why didn't you just keep that energy and stay here and stay in the fight? I mean,
Yeah,
politics here is it's a back and forth, and you got to,
yeah,
stake your territory, and you got to stay in the
yeah.
fight, and you shouldn't leave.
I mean, I
Do you
was
hear from
definitely
people?
conflicted. I was definitely conflicted, but my assessment of the situation, first of all, it's even worse than I expected. I think it's crazier than I expected. My assessment of the situation is that it's not possible to fight this through normal democratic means. Although I have been incredibly heartened by Senator Booker's, it's not a filibuster, but his 25-hour
Sure.
speech, which I listened to a big portion of that on YouTube. And of course, very excited to see Elon Musk lose badly in the Wisconsin election for Supreme Court. While there are some positive notes, I don't actually believe we're going to have elections in 3.5 years. I don't believe that if there are elections, they will be free and fair. I debate myself whether there will be midterm elections. I think that it's a very scary time. I believe that if you appoint somebody like Pete Hegseth, who's clearly unqualified to be the Secretary of Defense, the reason you are doing that is because you intend to turn troops on Americans who are protesting. I don't have any confidence at all that through the normal democratic process, this can be overcome. I do not believe that this is a kind of cyclical thing that will end in 4 years. But I do have guilt for leaving at times. I have, well, it might be survivor's guilt. I'm not sure what you call it, but I do feel guilty that I'm not there fighting alongside people who I fought with for so many years.
What if there are elections again, though, and what if a Democrat wins? Would you ever come back?
Um, well, honestly, the lifestyle is so much better here. So I don't think I would. I mean, and I would say, like, for people who are coming here with children, like, they don't have to worry about their children being gunned down in school. They don't have to worry about the kind of political violence and division that we see every day in America. In America, you pay, a little bit less in taxes, but you get nothing for it. My husband just had a heart attack on Sunday. Yes, a
Mm.
literal heart attack on
Oh,
Sunday.
wow. Sorry about that.
The EMTs were here within less than 5 minutes. They had a portable EKG machine. They said to us, he's having a heart attack. And they took him by ambulance to the big hospital in Amsterdam where they did a stent. They inserted a stent into his heart to increase the flow of blood. This will not cost us a penny. And he was in the hospital for 4 days.
Wow.
He just got, or
Wow.
3 days. He just got back last night. And he's all better. And, he pays a premium of 160 euros a month. He pays a deductible of 385 euros a year. And his health insurance otherwise is covered 100% by his insurance. And if I think about, I paid $900 a month for
Yeah.
insurance in Texas. My deductible was $9,000. And on top of that, every time I went to the doctor, I paid between $50 and $500 for tests or for appointments. And then I paid $100 a month for a couple of old prescriptions that have been around forever for my thyroid. It's not a nice way to live if you have an alternative. I mean,
Let me,
healthcare, gun violence, all of these things impact your daily life.
Jana, let me ask you about this. I like to travel as well, wherever Wheeler says to go next. I usually try to look at. But I noticed the other day, residency visas was one of the options that some countries were offering. Spain, Portugal, and Ireland, though, all revoked those because too many people were taking them up on it. And
No,
essentially,
that's
is
not
that
correct. I'm sorry to say
no?
that's
Go
not
ahead.
correct.
What happened?
So they're constant. First of all, most countries have several categories of different
Sure.
residency visas. I think what you're probably thinking about is the Spanish Golden Visa, which they ended, which was when you paid, I think, 250,000 euros,
To
and
buy
you
a
had to have
place?
a high amount of income to live there. But there's something in Spain called the non-lucrative visa, in which you only need $30,000, 30,000 euros of savings to qualify. You just can't work. Those are what are referred to colloquially as passive income visas or retirement visas. And Italy, Portugal, France, Spain, especially, and Ireland all have them, as does Greece and a few other countries. They have these passive income visas. It's a very common way for people who are of retirement age to go live abroad. And usually, in most cases, the cost of living is considerably less than in the U.S.
But for
So
people who aren't retired, what are their options besides Amsterdam if they wanted to look overseas?
So if you have a job like mine where you can work from your desk and on your computer, there are about 60 countries around the world where you can be a digital nomad.
Mm.
And that gives you a residency visa for a year to 5 years, depending on which country. And usually you can renew them. And after a certain amount of time, you can usually get a dual passport or at least a permanent residency after a while. Digital nomad visas are a really common way to go lots of places, but in most countries in the world, an American cannot just work locally. Their work has to be 1099 contract work with American or non or other country clients. Again, the Netherlands and Germany really are the only two that I'm really aware of where the average person can go and work. If you're a highly skilled migrant, very technical, a lot of skills. Maybe you're an AI expert. Yeah, you can probably get a job.
That would
But
cut
it's
Wheeler
hard to,
out, though, Jana. But we
yeah.
could do this podcast abroad.
The whole highly
But
skilled part,
Yeah.
yeah,
also
right there. Um,
medical people, a lot of nurses,
oh yeah, visiting, yeah.
doctors are going to English speaking countries
Mm.
like Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, and
Hmm.
Canada.
Jana, is there anybody that this is probably not for? I mean, you did this
Yeah,
for a while,
a lot
many
of
years
people.
ago. What'd you say?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Okay.
So I think people have to keep in mind that it's hard to move country.
Mm.
You probably have to learn a whole new language, which is one of the good things about the Netherlands is everybody speaks English. So you have a while to learn. You don't have to know right away. You don't need to speak Dutch right away,
Yeah,
but
I
you
know
should.
someone who did this as well, just like you did right after the election, and I followed on Facebook a little bit. And one of the things that they talked about was a lot of loneliness when they got,
I
like they were
think,
looking so
yeah,
forward to it, but they got
yeah.
there and they kind of felt like an outsider.
I think it takes a long time to integrate. When I first moved to the Netherlands in 2000, I did feel very lonely, and it took me a long time to make Dutch friends. It took me several years to make Dutch friends. So I think that's very important to find your community, to live in the right place, to do things the right way. It's like you have to learn a whole new way of living in most places. And I think the Netherlands is close enough to the US culture that it's not quite as difficult as maybe Spain or Portugal, where you also need to learn the language. And in fact, a lot of times, those people who move to Spain, Portugal, they just tend to hang out with other expats, other English speaking expats. They go to areas where those expats live, and they make a community of expats, which is fine if you're happy with that. That's fine. But if you've got children and they're going to schools and you have to integrate with the parents, it can be challenging. The other thing is, if you're coming to the Netherlands, you have to be somebody who can run your own business and make it succeed. It's not everybody can do that. If you've been employed your whole life, that's a big ask. So you've really got to know what you're doing. You've really got to be just like it would be in the States. It would be very difficult for a lot of people to set up their own business and succeed as an entrepreneur. It's a big challenge. If you have no aptitude or interest in foreign cultures, you definitely shouldn't come.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely
I
don't do that.
I think it would be a hard place generally anywhere in Europe to be quite conservative politically. I don't think that you would make local friends. While there are people who are conservative in all of these places, it's a smaller percentage, and their conservative is probably more like our like right wing of the Democratic Party, for instance. So,
You
so I think
mentioned,
if go ahead.
yeah, and we're kind of watching that in Germany and France too, I don't think it's exactly what we're seeing in the United States. Germany maybe with the AFD party there. Let's talk
Yeah,
about GTFO tours though.
yeah,
Every Sunday, you mentioned this a moment ago. Every
yeah.
Sunday, you
Mhm.
do a Facebook chat with people who are interested in this. So if someone's
No, it's
interested in,
broader than that. So
well,
every
tell us about
Sunday,
that.
most Sundays I do a call on a specific subject. This coming Sunday, it happens to be on the DAFT visa. But last Sunday or the Sunday before, I'm trying to remember now, we've recently done how to get a European passport based on ancestry. We did how to get a German passport if your ancestors were Holocaust survivors or people denied their German citizenship. We've done how to work in Germany. And those are all on YouTube. They're all on my YouTube page. If you just Google my name and YouTube, Jana Lynn Sanchez on YouTube, you'll find it.
Good.
And so every week we record those. We've done calls on, moving to Spain, all of the requirements for the non-lucrative visa or the digital nomad visa there. We've done calls on Portugal, Costa Rica, Mexico, and just various subjects like how to study in the EU, for instance. So we pick a different subject. So this week we're doing the DAFT visa part two because we've done part one before. Next week we're doing trans migrants, what it's like if you are trans in America right now. I think it's very, very scary from everything we've heard. And a lot of trans people want to leave the country. What are the concerns they need to think about? Which countries are welcoming? Will they be allowed to work? Where can they get health care? So that will be the next Sunday, the 13th. And I don't have much planned after that. We just sort of comes up, someone will say to me, can you do a call about blah, blah, blah. Oh,
Yeah.
last week I know what we did. We did managing your finances as an expat, which gosh, the timing couldn't be worse. Couldn't be better, actually. If you are looking at the markets today, it's been such a
Yeah.
disaster. Yeah. So we just take different subjects every Sunday. And then GTFO Tours is specifically right now for the Netherlands. We are looking at potentially expanding those to Spain. Not sure where else, but Spain is tons of Americans want to go to Spain. It's a really attractive place and
Jana,
easy
my,
to.
my last thing for you, I know that you don't think that there will be upcoming elections anymore here in the U.S., but if there are and when there are, you would still be able to vote, right? And still be involved as a citizen here in the United States.
Yes, at some point, I will no longer be a Fort Worth resident. I still own a house there, so I guess I'm still sort of a Fort Worth resident as well. But I will still be able to vote for all the federal elections. And I'm really hoping Cory Booker is going to run now. So if there is an election, I really would like to see someone with backbone for the Democratic Party and who speaks about economic issues that affect Americans. Yeah.
Jana, my last question is, what would it take to get you back to Fort Worth?
Oh, gosh. There isn't anything. No, I'm not coming back to Fort Worth.
Really? They have a really good beer here. It's called the Texas Tornado. It's jalapeno, smoke, and bacon in it, and it is barbecue in a cup.
No, I'm done with Fort Worth. I loved being there, but no, I'm done. I mean, I guess I have to go there and eventually finish packing up my house because I haven't finished packing up everything. I'm still showing it, but the market it's definitely a buyer's market right now, not a seller's market.
Well, Jana, I know it's late for you there, and I know you're a morning person, not a night person like Wheeler is.
Although you still got sunlight outside,
Yeah,
which is an interesting thing there.
It stays light until about 10 here in the summer.
Love that.
Wow.
See,
Yeah.
now I could live like that. Yeah, I mean, you
That's
can keep
nice.
doing stuff outside all the way
Well,
till
the
10.
market, the streets are full of people sitting out drinking and socializing. It's very nice.
Wow. Yeah, the Netherlands, and I've been to Amsterdam, haven't been to Haarlem, but it's a fantastic place. When we take Yolitics on the road, we'll make sure we come see you.
Yeah,
You're
tell people
welcome.
there
You
to
can
listen.
come on the tour. Come on the tour.
We should go on the GTFO tours.
We gotta look into our Yolitics budget and see if we've got the money to do
It's
it.
pretty slim right
It's
now.
a bargain. We only charge 1,550 euros plus VAT. And of course, you have to get your own ticket and your hotel and your food. What we're charging for is the experience, which includes all the experts and all of the things that are part of the tour. But it'll probably save you a lot of time and money if you're moving here to kind of get the level of expertise that we're providing.
It always helps to go find out from somebody who's already blazed a trail
Yeah.
instead of doing it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, who's been there. Jana Sanchez, thank you so much. As always appreciate you taking our call, and I'm glad to hear things are going great for you over there as well, too. We do miss you in North Texas.
Thank you. I miss you guys too, but I have been following Yolitics. I have been, as much as I can stomach what people are saying.
That's the greatest part. Like, you can listen to Yolitics anywhere in the world.
You can. I get it here. Yes.
We're
Yeah.
worldwide.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
Jana.
Bye-bye.
Wheeler, real quick, where are the Wheelers from?
That area, on the
Mainland
ancestry-
Europe?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
What does your 23andMe say?
well, I deleted it, but the
You did?
last, I don't trust any of that stuff. I wish I'd never done it. No, it was like Netherlands, UK, Scotland, all of that.
Yeah.
Northern, northeastern.
But you've been
northwestern.
here for a minute in Texas, so you don't qualify for any type of a second passport, I guess, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Y'all are stuck with me.
Yeah. That's reason enough to leave the country. Guys,
Just the fact that I'm going to be here.
you're going to be here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you next week.